Thank you for joining me on this episode of Highway Spec. My name is Trent. We're going to jump right into it and spec out the new BMW XM. Now, the BMW XM has been met with some controversy, and frankly, it's justified. This is BMW's first attempt at a standalone M model ever since the BMW M1 back in the 80s. So it has a lot of heritage to live up to, and BMW has decided to honor that heritage by coming out with a rather large 5-passenger super SUV. Now, SUVs, of course, are all the rage, but this feels like a slap in the face to the BMW M purists. But that said, we're still going to spec one out because this competes in a very hotly contested segment, namely the Lamborghini Urus, the Porsche Cayenne Turbo SE Hybrid, Audi RS Q8, and even the Bentley Bentayga. It is in a unique position because it is not as expensive as those, but it's also not at the same level as those. But there will be some cross-shopping between the two. Now, like I said, BMW has decided to launch the XM as a standalone model, but BMW being BMW, they can't just leave that well enough alone. They have to come out with different versions of it, which again is kind of blasphemous to me when it comes to BMW M models. Yes, there is the BMW M2 and the M2 competition, and then the lightweight versions. Those kind of things do happen. However, BMW is coming out with the BMW XM Label Red, and they're also coming out with a base model, which is based around the 6-cylinder. Those models are coming next year. For now, we are going to spec out the original flavor of the BMW XM, which makes 644 horsepower, does 0 to 60 in BMW advertised at 4.1 seconds, but some publications have found that that is a little bit conservative. Yes, it does move from 0 to 60 in a reasonable amount of time, but when you compare it to like the Urus or the Turbo SE Hybrid, those do it in low 3 seconds versus high 3 seconds. But the BMW XM does start at $159,000, which seems like a lot, but again, compared to its competition, maybe not so much. It's the budget-friendly option. So let's go ahead and spec one out. I have seen a lot of bold color choices, some of the whites, this Cape York green metallic with the gold accents, which is a trim package option on this, and really, I don't like it. This character line that runs along the side of the vehicle, it stands out so much. It breaks up the car, but not in a good way. And some of these proportions, the hood overlapping the front grille, at least that's what it looks like from the side profile. So for that purpose alone, we're going with black sapphire metallic to hide some of those lines. Now to me, that looks a lot better. The side profile looks pretty nice actually. The front end, not my favorite, but it looks reasonable. Then you get around to the back, and this is where I think BMW has lost me. You've got that huge XM badge just tacked on there somewhere, and then you've got the BMW Roundel logos on the rear glass, plus the vertically stacked exhaust tips.
So then what were they thinking?
Also, these wheels, not my favorite, so we're going to go ahead and go over to the wheel section, and here we're actually going to step down to the 22-inch wheels that look a lot more traditional. Now, the factory 23-inch wheels do have a unique design element that have some triangles in it, some shapes that match the interior. We'll get to that, but this, I think, looks a lot better. Now, again, interior, they have some bold options, which I am grateful for. However, I don't really love it on this vehicle. Now, this orange looks great on so many different M products, but this vehicle, it just doesn't seem to fit in my opinion. This deep lagoon with vintage coffee, again, I'm grateful that they offer it, but I also think it just isn't fitting for what we're going with. That said, we are going to go with the Silverstone with vintage coffee, at least that is my personal preference. Trim, there's only one option, carbon fiber, so let's go ahead and jump to the next thing. And here we've got the brake calipers. Traditionally, BMW M Sport brakes are in blue. Personally, I don't think it's very fitting, so I'm going to go ahead with the red brake calipers and the Bowers & Wilkins Diamond Surround Sound System. This night gold metallic exterior trim is a popular option on some of the early specs. I personally do not like it, so we're not going to go with that. And the M Drivers package, kind of laughable, because it does raise the top speed on this SUV that is rather large, but it also gives you the one-day high-performance driving class. I'm gonna skip over that for this M model. Next up, we have the accessories, and here there's really only one that I'm going to go with, and that is the dash cam for $810, which will be nicely integrated. I do like, however, that BMW is offering this tablet mount because obviously you don't have a traditional headrest. You're not going to be able to buy a headrest mount for your tablet for 20 bucks on Amazon. This one, however, does cost $235, so no small amount. That said, skipping right over it. And that brings us to our total, $165,710 for this BMW XM. If I were ordering a BMW XM today, this is the way I would do it. Black out the exterior, hide some of those unique design choices. Go with the smaller 22-inch wheels for a better ride and better look, in my opinion. And for some reason, we've rendered a blue interior, but I did choose the Silverstone with the vintage coffee. And then also going with the red brake calipers. What do you think of my BMW XM build? What would you do differently? Make sure to drop a comment below. And if you like videos like these, please consider subscribing, and I will catch you on the next one.